So yeah, we just got back sort of from. Oh yeah, we're back after. Oh wait, no, the from the vault episodes would have been before, but it's been a few weeks since we've recorded.
Yeah.
Because I was at Gen Con. Wendyes had a screening there at the film festival. It went really well. It was really cool.
For Son of Baconator.
Huh?
For the Son of Baconator.
For Son of Baconator.
Yeah.
I will say I really like the title of the short film. It sucks to search for on YouTube because it autocorrects to Wendy's. And you have to click, no, I meant to search for Wendies. You have to tell
shit. Yeah, no, like I at least as far as our shorts that I've been to screenings for, never seen such a solid like laughing at like every single joke. Pretty much, there was like the only jokes that were missed were the ones that they couldn't hear because they were like laughing at the previous ones or whatever. But like I've never seen such a hit rate for our like own videos. It was really awesome.
Nice.
That's good.
But yeah, screening was dope. We got to do a little Q&A afterwards, which was nice. And yeah, we broke 200 views on YouTube.
I was gonna say,
hell yeah.
And also a few people I noticed commented on it that specifically said, "Hey, we're from Gen Con. Like, we wanted to tell you that this video was great." Like, people sought it out, which is.
So it's not just us saying it on the show here.
Yeah.
Other people have enjoyed it. Go watch it.
Yeah.
Literally tens of people.
Yeah.
There was not 100, but there was a good amount of people there.
No, that's a pretty solid turnout.
Yeah.
When there's thousands of other events going on simultaneously.
That is true.
Right.
Yeah. With how much shit's going on at Gen Con all the time. Right. And that was during the Gen Con dance, which is like a huge event.
Holy shit.
That's when it screened was during the dance.
You got screwed for
your
time slot.
Yeah.
Did you say the Gen Con dance?
Yeah.
It's like an adult mixer.
It's
like a middle school dance.
Oh, okay.
But for
with
adults.
With alcohol.
Yeah.
Alcohol, okay.
Yeah. It's cool. There's only
chaperones there.
Yeah.
There probably should be.
It is very middle
Instead
school
of leave
dancing.
room for Jesus, it's leave room for Gary Gygax.
Yeah. Welcome back to episode 61 of There Will Be Duds. I'm your co-host TJ, aka J Spot Jack Cheese, and with me as always,
I'm Nick, aka Dr. Funk on Twitch, and with us as always,
I'm Connor. I'm something on Twitter. I'm there somewhere.
You don't know your.
I'm Bingo Bronson 420 on Twitter.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
one of your
Egregious
several
Philbin.
alts.
Oh yeah, one of my 24.
You used to harass people.
Yeah. Got a whole gang of them.
And as always, we watched a movie just now, pretty much.
Yeah. Did we all watch it today?
I just finished it moments before we started setting up to record. We were supposed to watch 2012, right?
Yeah. That movie being Deadfall from 1993, directed by Christopher Coppola. It follows a guy named Joe, I think, played by Michael Biehn. He's a con artist. He kills his dad at the beginning of the movie in the middle of a con on accident. And then he's kind of roped into, because of that, he's brought into his uncle's, his dad's twin brother's separate con world. And they're going to pull off a really big con of their own, I guess. But really, this is Nicolas Cage's movie. So
yeah,
he's also there as like a guy who's just there.
It's just as straightforward as it sounds.
I think because he is related to the director, I don't know why else he's in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much Deadfall.
All right. Good talk.
Good talk.
Yeah. The first thing that I really noticed about this movie, or maybe let's go back. I feel like this movie set the Grandpa Crane blueprint in some ways in terms of like utilizing certain movie tropes.
Okay.
Like watching it, I was like, this is something that like we would do, sort of like as amateurs. Like the whole like the briefcase.
I kind of get what you mean. I get yeah.
Like there's like the sequence with like the briefcase, and like there's the part where after like he's killed his dad, he's like sitting there with like the handle of whiskey, and maybe that's like a very Grandpa Crane / like Andyism. I feel like there's been a number of shorts that I've done with Andy where like I'm holding a bottle of some sort of brown liquid.
Right.
I noticed all these like kind of noir crime drama like tropes in this movie, that it's like you can tell the guy who wrote it. This sounds so much weirder without my headphones on now. It reminded me of like another Nicolas Cage movie adaptation where Nicolas Cage plays Charlie Kaufman and also his brother Donald. What's up?
I wanted to see how you finished that one out.
In the movie adaptation, Charlie Kaufman, who's like a real person, is played by Nicolas Cage. He's also played by his twin brother, who he doesn't have a twin brother in real life, but the character Donald Kaufman like writes this script that is full of like, but what if the serial killer's the same person and he's actually chasing himself? And it just like leans into every single trope of the genre. I feel like this movie leans into every single trope of like, and I'm just seeing this Christopher Coppola as like the Coppola brother who's like, I could be a screenwriter too. I can direct a movie, and it's just
it's his Godfather. For sure.
He's like, oh, Francis. Forget about that guy. I can write one too.
It's funny you say that because one of my notes here says it feels like it was written by a middle schooler.
yeah, exactly.
How hard they hit the every single trope, and I don't just mean tropes in the like screenwriting. The like intro voiceover use like every trope and idiom and like turn of phrase like in the book.
It's like ever since I was a young kid, I wanted to be a good fella or whatever like that sort of monologue is from Goodfellas. It's like
wait, do you actually think he says Goodfellas?
No, I know he doesn't. What does he say? Like
wise guy,
a gangster. Yeah,
it's gangster.
It is gangster.
No, that's what Martin Scorsese's cousin Eric Scorsese would be. I always wanted to be a good fella.
I always wanted to be a Deadfall. That is a really like interesting way to put it, that it is very Grandpa Crane-y. That's like weirdly accurate, even though I like hadn't thought about that at all watching it. But I think also in a way it may have influenced Grandpa, at least in my part, Grandpa Crane-isms as far as like performances, because watching this, and I will say this is exclusive to Nick Cage's role. This is one of those where like, because I watched this movie originally back in like 2009, 2010, so like right before we started like doing like the big block of Grandpa Crane shorts. I watched it like a handful of times, and like that was it. But I watched it maybe like 3 or 4 times within the span of like, I don't know, a few months with groups of people. And I like watching this unlocked like how many like things Nicolas Cage does in this that I did for like years afterwards. Like so much. Like the, you know, from the "Viva la fucking France, man."
Yep.
Or like the when he's like, one that really hit was where he's like on the bed and he's going like, ah! And then he rolls over and he just goes, I'm pretty sure, like for instance in Francois 3, spoilers, the end of it where Stark dies. That's what I based Francois crying off of. Was that like
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah, there was so much stuff like this. I was like, that's from this movie too?
Yeah,
that's also from that line or whatever. You wanna fucking kill me, man? What am I, a fucking retard, man?
What am I, a fucking retard, man? Am I a fucking retard, huh? I know what this is. Lou trying to stop me out because of his crazy little nephew being around. Well, vive la fucking France, man!
Oh, I connected it to another Grandpa Crane short. I connected it to As Is as well. When his dad dies at the beginning, and he's like laying on the ground because like it starts out with them like pulling a heist or something, and they're basically all in
sting.
Yeah, and they're all in on this, and they're all basically like pretending to be feds and like this to scare this guy off basically, and so all their guns are allegedly full of blanks. But then they shoot. He thinks that he actually shot his dad. But when his dad like rolls over to like talk to his son, presumably for the last time, he does like the final words from the beginning of As Is. I feel like the first time you die, because he's like the part where you're like, wait, I don't want to go out like that, and then it rewinds.
Yeah.
That's what he sounded like when he was dying. He was doing. Funny. He's like trying to talk to him, and he's like, and then he just dies.
Which in a way, it's one of the more like realistic aspects of the movie, that like you're not always going to get like last words, like that. Oh yeah, I think that's in that first scene too, where the guy's like, I want a taste of like the cocaine, and then he's like,
and then it hits him immediately.
Yeah, he's like, I'm seeing daisies, baby, or something, some shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like Zach getting high in The Ungrateful Dead, where I'm just stoned immediately, and I'm just
Yeah, I think the only thing that we don't really have in any of the Grandpa Cranes, I mean, sans the Lynch movies, if you want to count those, is like narration. Like, I wonder like how much more similarities there would be between them if we did.
The word you're looking for is Coppolan.
So what accent do you think Nicolas Cage is doing in this?
Yes.
Yeah. There are several characters in this that I feel like their accent or like their notes were just like slur your words.
Yeah. Italian? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good
I don't know.
default.
That doesn't even sound right, but like I feel like they play that up with him in this. I wrote down that he like it's something that like if he didn't do this, his performance wouldn't be like as magnetic as it is the whole time. But there's like this weird thing that he does with his face where he like it's like he puffs his face up. It's really weird. Like he's always like he's bloated and like
he's really like straining on it, just against nothing, just straining himself.
Yeah, and he's always like looks sweaty and greasy, and that super shitty wig that he wears. and then I theorized after his demise, I was like, maybe that's foreshadowing because like he ends up bloated and greasy, like dead on the floor,
literally in grease.
Yeah.
Well, that's, because a week ago we went, or I guess 2 weeks now, we went to go see Wild at Heart, which I think this is what, 93?
This is. Yeah,
I think Wild at Heart is like 91 or 92, which it's kind of funny that you say he's like bloated and greasy because in Wild at Heart, he's like constantly being this Elvis-like figure, like singing Elvis songs. Like at the end of that movie, he sings like "Love Me Tender," and it's very similar. He kind of has that because I think if you want to get that Elvis voice, you kind of have to strain a little bit. So maybe that was just like a thing he was going through at the time.
Maybe.
I could see Nicolas Cage being an Elvis guy.
Yeah,
and being like, I'm just this is my Elvis period.
Yeah. It's so funny too because like he doesn't show up until like roughly like 20 minutes in, and like everything around him makes this feel like a bland but like normal movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're all like, okay, yeah, it's like a crime movie. Okay, these are the
everyone's playing it pretty straight.
Yeah, and then you get to him and you just hear like the shuffling of cards behind Michael Biehn, and then the pick a card.
Yeah, as soon as you meet him, like he takes your attention.
That's when the movie really starts.
And
honestly,
it is like that is the chunk of that's like roughly 20 minutes into roughly an hour, and that's the good part of the movie because it's the Cage stuff, and it focuses so much on him, and it is like 40 minutes of a movie that's like a little over like an hour and a half, so almost half of the movie is like really heavily focused on this one character who doesn't really matter at all, especially when you realize that like the only thing that he could be there for sort of is Diane, like bringing her into it, bringing the love interest into it, even though that is like a very weak reason to focus on this person for almost half your movie. But then it turns out that she was set up, or she was brought in there by Joe's dad anyways, so it's like even if Nicolas Cage's character wasn't there, she would have been there because she was part of the con. So he literally has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, it's one of those movies again, like I said with like all the tropes. This you guys did that synchronized. It was perfect. You guys did 4 chicks. That sounded like it was like this would be so cool if Diane was like in on it the whole time. But then it's like that recontextualizes the relationship with Eddie, and like it kind of falls apart under its own weight. But it's like the writer was probably thinking, this would be so cool if we did this. Oh, yeah. Diane was in on it the whole time. His dad did it.
Yeah. There's so many things that like I'm like, oh man, that guy thinks that's so cool.
Yeah.
But then you get to the Nicolas Cage part, you bring it back to that, and you're like, how does he think that this is cool? Like Nicolas Cage
No, he's right. It is cool.
It is cool. Like when he walks in the apartment room and he just does the
they're trying to kill me.
Yeah.
He's like trying to go Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to kill me, man!
Who would try to kill you, Eddie?
The fucking hangers!
His performance, like, absolutely carries this movie. Like, I think given enough time, I'd be hard pressed to name another person who was even in it. But yeah, I don't know. He just absolutely carries this.
Charlie Sheen.
Well, I mean, I just watched it, so I know. But
I was
I don't know, a couple months or whatever.
I was so checked out during that. Okay, am I stupid, or did I miss a line of dialogue that explains what pool game that they're playing? Because it looked like he was just hitting it.
Yeah, there were no pockets in that table. Did you notice that?
No.
Also, they were all solid colors and there were no numbers on them.
Well, I think in like old school billiards, it would be like yellow and red, and then maybe the 8-ball.
Yeah.
Like so that's like that functions as like stripes and solids.
Oh, okay.
But
gotcha.
I guess I didn't notice that there were no pockets. I was like, is this snooker, which I think is like a European game?
It might have been. It was some. I don't know.
Because he was like, Charlie Sheen was like talking about how good he is at this game, and he was just like,
this game I just made up.
Yeah, and like I'm watching it because they never actually show like the full pool table. They'll show like him hit it, and it'll like kind of bounce off a few of the banks, and then it'll kind of like tilt up away from like it'll go back to him, and I'm like, what game is he playing?
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. I was getting mad. I was like, I don't know what's going on. He's just hitting balls.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that scene just in general, like I didn't realize that until it was almost over. But yeah, I was like, there's no pockets on that pool table. But also,
it's
like
a Corsair.
Also, I was like, what the fuck is the point of this scene? Like, it went on for so fucking long, and they would hit the ball, it would hit the other balls, and then it would pan up, and Charlie Sheen would be like, "Nice."
Yeah, that was so
like,
cool.
Yeah,
it was another one where it's like a microcosm of Nicolas Cage, where it's like, yeah, he's totally pointless, and he only exists to move him to the dude with the Edward Scissorhand.
Yeah.
And again, it was like probably the second biggest star in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, depending on maybe like at the time, but like James Coburn is like who played the uncle / the dad. He was pretty big. He was in like a bunch of like westerns, like Magnificent Seven and shit.
Yeah,
he was Flint.
Monsters Inc.
is where I knew him from.
Oh yeah, is he Mr. Waternoose?
Yeah, he is.
Oh shit. Okay,
He's got that.
I recognize the voice now. I think about it. Yeah.
I let 100 children die before I let that happen, or whatever.
Yeah.
That, you know.
I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die.
That's it. Let this company die.
Yeah, I thought we were doing a movie on an episode on Monsters Inc. So I watched that instead.
God, like I just remembered another like I guess it's just like coming back to me like another thing that there's just so much shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like in this movie, like there's the thing with the coffee stand girl.
Oh yeah.
There's like 2 scenes with her, and like the last scene you see is like the one guy's he walks by and she's like, "Oh, you want a coffee or donut on the house?" And he's like, "No, I'm good. Maybe next time." And then he like goes to the other guy and he's like, "Hey, Joe," and he's like, "Hey, what's up with her?" And he's like, "What's her story?" And he's like, "Oh, she likes you." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he's like, "Stay away from her. I like her." And then he's like, "Okay." And then the scene ends. And there's nothing like
it's in the director's cut, but it does explain that.
Oh, okay.
I'm
There's
so
another like 5-minute sex scene.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, I was surprised that they even revisited her, because like the first instance of her like being like, "Oh, I've never seen what did she did the reverse thing where usually like the guys like, you come here often, but like she said it to him."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I've never been here before." And she's like, "Haha, yeah, I know."
That's just another instance of the brilliance of this movie.
Yeah. And then there's like that, she kind of like gives him that look, like offers him the free like pastry, and it's like, okay, she digs this guy, but then she like it's not brought up again. So I was like, okay, there's probably some subplot that gets cut, whatever. Had Heat come out at this time?
No.
Okay.
Nope. That was 95. This was
okay. Because like that seemed like a very Heat type interaction, but I was like, okay, there's probably something more to that, and it just got cut for time. But then like they revisited it, like you said, and it was still just as inconsequential. So it's like, why even bother revisiting it in the first place? Because it doesn't.
The only thing it does is to like show, our main character, he's hot.
Yeah,
or like I guess
baristas want him.
Yeah. And speaking of that first time, the first scene with her, that's probably why she was like onto him, is because he looked just like Rowdy Roddy Piper and They Live.
Yes, I had that same thought with the sunglasses on,
and like the
denim shirt.
Yeah, the shirt, or I can't think of like what.
Oh god, I just hear John Carpenter's like bow out as he's like walking around.
Yeah, except this is like YouTube Music Library version of that. Because, oh man, like sometimes it was like appropriate, but like it was never like great. It was like at best like standard.
Yeah.
But there was some that just felt so fucking out of place. Where he's like, I think there's one where he's like casing a spot or something like that. He's just kind of like walking around like checking people out, and it's going like boop 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 boom boop boom boop boom.
Yeah,
it's very.
Like now this YouTube video.
Yeah.
That was made by Ron Williams, the John Williams' cousin.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, this is a very Cousins movie. Like, this is like the type of movie you'd go over to like a family event, and your cousins would be like, "You want to watch Deadfall?"
Yeah.
Made for cousins by cousins. So that's probably the worst. Also, okay, speaking of inconsequential characters, fake beard guy.
Oh my god.
No, yeah, I want. Okay, yes.
The fakest, like, most middle school play beard I've ever
It's
seen.
like Alan Rickman's beard in like Die Hard.
It was bad enough that I wrote a note, and I have no notes on this movie.
But it's like a painting. Your eyes are immediately drawn
Sam
to how
You guys
fucking
want
Peckinpah.
more drinks. Yeah, nice.
fake beard.
Fake beard.
Yeah.
Yes. What I was gonna say is that it's so fucking great that they do it fucking twice in this movie, like it's supposed to be a plot twist or something. Nicolas Cage is fighting this dude with the fake beard, and he slowly pulls it off to show that he has a fake beard. And then later,
Just some guy.
and then like 10 minutes later, Michael Biehn is fighting Nicolas Cage and slowly pulls his fake ass wig off.
He's like, it's like
What's
it's
the-
poetry. It rhymes.
I'm like, what? Why? Why
Yeah.
give them these terrible like dues? I don't get it.
And it's like when Joe initially like leaves too. They make a point to like highlight this dude with the fake beard like sitting behind him on the bus. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, there's so many like setups that do not get paid off.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this guy's following him. We never find out why he's following him.
Why
who he's
does he-
associated with?
Yeah. Why does he want to kill Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
And like, why was he following Joe if he ended up trying to kill Nicolas Cage? I don't know.
Baffling choice. So many
Yeah.
baffling decisions.
But I also wanted to talk a bit about the beard guy, because that's another like, I guess like Grandpa Craneism sort of thing, or just like cool like film student thing where it's like, oh, I'm gonna have like a character trait and like they think that just like giving somebody a character trait like means that there's like depth or meaning
Like
behind it.
significance, yeah.
Yeah. So like you see, and you only see it immediately before he dies when he's in the bar and Nicolas Cage has his big freak out.
Right.
And he like he's like sitting there at the bar and he's like listening to Nicolas Cage leave, and then he pulls a pack of Good and Plenty out of his shirt pocket and like eats them, and it's like, that's what I mean, like it's like, I'm trying to think of like something like similar, but there's like, you know, I feel like there's like plenty of movies where there's like, oh, this guy's like a psychopath, but he really likes lollipops. He always has like a lollipop in his mouth when he's killing people. So that's this guy's thing. He eats Good and Plenties, and then when he
Like
dies,
Willem Dafoe's classical music and Boondock Saints.
like
just kind of a
Oh, okay.
just a little
character,
quirk.
a character
Yeah,
quirk.
yeah.
Yeah,
That-
that's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
A quirk. And like that was his, is like he eats Good and Plenty, even though it's just the one time, and then he dies, and then you see like the Good and Plenties kind of like spill over him as he dies, and it's like, okay, but why? Like, why'd
was-
you include that?
Killer product placement from Good and Plenty.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
Movie's got to get sponsored
This is
somehow.
such a Good and Plenty ass movie.
Well, no, that's perfect, because the one time I bought Good and Plenty's, I thought that they were going to be like Mike and Ike's, and I learned a very valuable lesson.
Yeah.
I don't
They are
dislike
like Mike and Ike's.
I don't dislike black licorice, but
When you're expecting Mike and Ike's,
when I
it's-
I was like, oh, still ate the whole box, 'cause I'm not going to let it go to waste. You know?
Still hit though.
Still
Still hit.
smashed.
I discovered while I was watching this in the YouTube description, because as I told you guys, I split my viewing between Plex and YouTube, that there is a prequel / sequel that came out in 2017.
By the
And-
same name.
No, it's called Arsenal. The lead is Adrian Grenier, the guy from Entourage.
Okay.
But it's only, from what I understand, I watched a trailer and kind of like skimmed the Wikipedia. It's only a prequel sequel to this because Nicolas Cage is in it playing Eddie.
Oh.
and like he has
So
the
it's
mustache,
in like it's
and
in
he
the
has
same universe. It's not really a prequel
right
or
because
sequel.
he fucking
Okay.
died at the end of like he got his
Okay.
face melted off.
But he's like 30 years older
Yeah,
than like
yeah.
his character.
So it can't be a prequel, and it can't be a sequel. But yeah, he's now like a mob boss or something like that, and he's like the bad guy. And yeah,
Oh
So
shit.
so he didn't die,
I guess
and it
he survived.
wasn't even that badly injured. He's got the same
Yeah.
face.
It was actually the fryer grease that he dumped his head into those were blanks. So
Oh,
It was apple cider.
wow.
yeah,
I gotta look up what this looks like.
Yeah, so
it looks like your basic
died in
like
this movie,
direct to
and
DVD
then-
shit.
he died in this movie, and then there were 45 more minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Incredible.
That's so good.
Yeah.
We'll
put a- yeah.
insert the.
Yeah. He
Put
looks
it up
like
on screen.
he looks like what's the Andy Kaufman guy?
Tony Clifton.
Tony Clifton. Yeah.
That's what he looks
He
like.
looks like Tony Clifton.
He
Yeah.
looks like great value Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, after he dies, there is more movie. I don't know. That Charlie Sheen thing is the only thing that stands out because of just how like why
His weird little silver nail that they never pay off.
Yeah, again,
Silver nail?
he had like a long, like a Coke nail.
Yeah.
And
Charlie
I-
Sheen did.
Yeah, I feel like they did like a highlight of it. Like they zoomed in
like
on it.
zoomed. He was wearing like these weird fucking
noticed
two
the-
in the pink gloves.
Yeah.
And then he had one
First pool
like
cue.
silver
like a long pinky nail.
long nail.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah. Like
It
fingernail
seems like he'd
grill.
at least like backhand him and like cut his face with it or something.
Yeah, or like you know
Yeah.
he'd like
But
he'd
it-
like do
it
a
just-
bump.
it
in
never
between.
never pays off.
yeah,
Angus Scrimm also had a few like long fingernails.
yeah. Two of them at
Yeah.
least. Yeah, that's another thing is like, okay, now we have like a bad guy with fucking scissor hands, like a mechanical like they
Yeah.
just decide to like throw in a few
His-
fucking curveballs at the end.
I can't imagine why you would throw in that terrible mechanical arm
yeah,
unless you were gonna do something with it.
Like shake my hand, boy, and then they.
that's the shit that makes it like even more baffling. It's like it's kind of like the Nicolas Cage thing, but in a different way. It's like for most of this, it's a normal, bland noir crime thing, and then you have Nicolas Cage. You have a guy with a fucking scissor hand. It's just weird to just have
Yeah.
these small things peppered in like that.
It's like this was their first time at a film festival, and those were like their requisite things they had to add in
These are
for it to
required
qualify.
elements.
You have to have scissor hand.
You had to have
and-
a mechanical arm, a weird metal Coke nail, and Nicolas Cage.
It was like at the Frankfurt one where after the thing they were like with that little kid. Remember they were like, hey, if anybody wants to use Nicolas Cage in their movie, here's his phone number. He wants to act. So
Yeah.
call up Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm really struggling to like think of. Well, okay, I guess we can talk about like the very ending because of how just like I don't know.
This movie wanted to be profound so bad.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like that ending is so like it's like a non-ending that you would see in like an indie movie.
Yeah.
Except it lacks the I don't know, the depth or something. Cuz like shit just happens and you're like, okay, so they were conning Angus Scrimm, but then Michael Bihn's actual dad, James Coburn, was conning his brother and him. And it's like, okay, I get that that's what happened, but I couldn't follow the like setup with Angus Scrimm, like how they got him roped into it, like why they were. Was it literally just like he did the pool game with Charlie Sheen and he like lost on purpose so that he could meet with Angus Scrimm and then be like, hey, I got more diamonds if you want them.
I literally think that's it.
It's so fucking stupid.
It's so, I
stupid.
think that is exactly it. because he's got like diamonds in the watch, and then Charlie Sheen's like, oh well, I got a guy who can appraise those, so like you're not trying to hustle me. And then it's Angus Scrimm.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that there was like that orb with Angus Scrimm. I felt like that was like a callback to Phantasm.
I wondered if that was, I had that same thought. Yeah, it could have been.
Like his performance was fine. Like he played the character. I don't know. I feel like whenever I see Angus Scrimm in a movie, I enjoy it just because I liked him in Phantasm. So just seeing him, as like a separate from the movie entirely, just his little microcosm of like a performance of a character, I was like, yeah, this is fun. Angus Scrimm is fun.
You have seduced me. You have a deal. Shake.
I thought he had fine, and I guess some credit. Like no performances were like amazing, but I also thought like James Coburn was like standard. Okay,
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Thank you for
that's on a
clarifying.
different level.
I guess that goes without saying.
but
I was waiting at the end for them to show up and ask Angus if he wanted to be in the Avengers.
They're gonna team up with Angus to hustle someone else.
that's Andy Serkis's character from Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
He's got the same thing. Claw, Ulysses Claw or whatever. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Do we have anything else about this? It's that's Deadfall. It's
It's a tight 30.
okay. Okay. I did have something that I glad I remembered. Like the question of this movie is, and this is hypothetical, right? Like obviously in this day and age, you can go online and you can watch a clip compilation of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Say that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And this was the only way that you could experience it. Is this movie worth is it if you're like, okay, I heard that there's this crazy Nicolas Cage performance, I want to see it. Is it worth watching the movie?
No.
Not the whole movie.
You got to watch the whole movie then. So no.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
Maybe. I guess it depends on how big of a Nicolas Cage fan you are. Oh my god, the last like 45
That's
or whatever
the thing that
minutes.
sucked.
It was
Yeah.
such a slog, and it was like it was nonsense with him in it.
Okay.
It was nonsense with him, but then without him, it was just
less
just
fun nonsense.
It was just nonsense.
Yeah.
It was just hard to get through. It was not not worth the time, honestly.
Okay, sorry, rephrase the question.
Okay. I said if hypothetically if you couldn't just go to YouTube and watch a compilation of his scenes or whatever, if this is the only way that you could experience this Cage performance, is it worth watching the movie? And you got to watch the whole movie for the experience of watching it.
That's
because it's a tough question. I think
it is probably like the zaniest one. I would say top 5. Like
it's like it's up there for him.
I would say yes, just for female fucking France, man. It's just for that. I think it's worth it because you guys always reference that line.
Yeah,
I feel like you guys. Did we do that in Grandpa Crane at all, or was that a Week with Dad stinger? Because you reference it in something. There's a Grandpa Crane short where you say it.
It's got to be in somewhere, yeah. It's got to be in there somewhere.
I always knew that line. Doesn't Chase say it?
Well, yeah. I mean, he did say it a lot, yeah.
Okay. Because I never knew that it was from this movie
or something. I don't know, yeah.
But now that I know that that's where it's from, like this is the genesis of that line.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I would say so. I think so.
I lean towards yes, just because it is like one. It's like this or Vampire's Kiss. I think is like if you're going for Crazy Cage, I think it's like the tops.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. It's like
I guess I would have to say yes because I just did that, and that was not the requirement at all. Like I didn't have those parameters, and I just watched it. So maybe I would.
I'm not. Yeah, it's not like you have to admit like the movie is good. It's just like if you had to experience it,
Yeah.
I think so, but yeah. Okay. And then I guess with that, unless there's anything else we want to touch on, we can kind of
Deadfall is over.
Yeah.
We're done. Now on to Deadfall 2012.
Well, we got to do our sputter dud.
Yeah.
Oh, dud.
Surprising anyone. Yeah, I mean, even with what I just said, that I think it is worth it. I lean towards that. I mean, this has still got to be a dud. It's still like
it was such a bad movie. There were so many fucking crazy, questionable things that I don't think we even touched on.
It was incomprehensible,
like,
but it wasn't incomprehensibly funny.
yeah.
Uncle Lou's like
it was just frustrating.
Uncle Lou's like wife.
Oh yeah,
Her weird. Just that scene was
in
weird.
the one scene. Yeah.
Oh,
I had to do the horsies.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about it.
It's your birthday, Louis.
Yeah,
I just forget
it seems
about
like
that shit.
they really wanted to have these like memorable zany characters, like the fake beard guy, his weird ass wife. Like I feel like they really wanted to have these like iconic, memorable characters, but like the whole thing was just.
It doesn't read that way, especially not like 30 years later.
Yeah.
Like, it's just they're just like it just reads as bad. Like there's not really you can't like make an icon, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't engineer one.
He got like a how to write a screenplay book. And instead of like substituting all of the examples with his own, he just went with like what the book said to put in the movie.
Like a strip club with one stripper. They can only afford one at a time.
That's right.
With a baby.
Yeah, mama.
Wait, I wasn't even fucking thinking of that when I used that analogy of like a serial killer who like always sucks on a lollipop. They fucking do that in this movie with baby at the strip club.
Baby.
He's like, he's like, give me a lollipop, sugar. She's like, cherry. The only thing that she has in her hand, like she has one in her hand already. He's like, you know it.
I really fucking hope so.
I don't know. I always try to do like potato analogies for this, but I can't even fucking think for this one. There's a big bad potato, but there's a little part of the potato that's called Nicolas Cage. That's good.
Yeah.
It's like one of those potatoes that you leave for too long, like in a covered place, and it starts growing those little green tendrils.
Yep.
And that's how you find it.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is the little green tendril that leads you to that like rotten potato.
Yeah. There's like that little tendril grows like a very, very small potato that's actually delicious, but you're not full. You're not like satisfied from it whatsoever.
You kind of regret spending an hour and a half eating it.
Yeah, and you're like, I think it's the potato's like at that state where it's just like this just tastes like dirt. This potato's just dirt.
Yeah, this is a dud for me, I think.
Dud.
Yeah, sucks to say that it's a dud because
Absolute spud for Nicolas Cage's performance.
yeah.
Sans anything else.
That's why Nicolas Cage is a household name and Christopher Coppola is not.
Yeah, this was the movie that made Nicolas Cage and what ruined Chris Coppola.
Yeah.
That said, if we were like putting it against like all the other movies all the other duds that we've done so far, I still feel like this is like in the middle somewhere. It's like, it's not offensively terrible. Like, it's not like Justice League or Suicide Squad or like, it's not shit like that.
God.
Yeah. I mean, if any of the actors in any of those movies had done a performance like Nicolas Cage and actually went all in,
like Jared Leto.
This is a very
exactly.
You're at like a secluded beachfront hotel with your family when you're like 10 years old. This is the movie that would be playing on the on the hotel room TV.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie probably lives on like TNT or like the whatever,
I don't even
the
think it gets
Turner
that high.
Classic Movie Channel. Some
This
shit.
on TMC would be fucking nuts. I would love to see Robert Osborne do a TMC intro to Deadfall. All right. Speaking of
A sinking ship.
TCM, not TMC.
I don't know. Here's an anchor for a sinking ship.
Oh,
What is
sure.
This movie.
Yeah, that works.
Are we back?
Yeah, sure. I'm thinking we're back.
All right.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Okay, so yeah, I think we all got stuff. I think depending on how much we want to go into it, do we want to start or end with Better Call Saul?
Oh, we
Since
can.
that's
Oh my god, I feel like ending with it would be better since
Yeah.
it's something that all three of us have,
Yeah.
for the most part, seen.
Yeah.
right.
Not
Okay.
the whole thing, obviously, but
This isn't like a topic that like I have to talk about, but I guess since we're here, and I know you love In Bruges.
Oh, I know.
yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Martin McDonagh has a new movie coming out called The Banshees of Inisherin with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson.
oh, okay. And I love Brendan Gleeson too.
I like both those guys too. Yeah, but just want to shout that out because In Bruges is like one of my favorite movies.
See that's what you do when you're making hamburger meat. You're blended Gleeson.
And that's what you do with Nicolas Cage in Deadfall. You blend and grease
Blend the
him.
Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson, yeah.
No, that sounds awesome though. I'll have to check out a trailer or something for it.
Yeah, that's one of those. I did watch the trailer, even though like I knew I would watch it anyways, but it doesn't give away like that. Like I don't really know what
It's about.
it's like all the setup is that like they've been friends for like 30 years, and Brendan Gleeson abruptly ends their friendship for like no reason, and that's about it. But
and it's got the daughter. It's got Mike's daughter-in-law from Better Call Saul.
Oh, perfect.
yeah.
That's really funny.
Neat. I guess I'll start with I've actually been watching a lot of TV. Better Call Saul, which we'll get into. I started Severance. I will report back when I'm finished. It's fucking sick, though.
Is it good?
It is
That's-
really good.
And
Yeah,
I've
that's
heard it's
all I've
really
heard
good.
is that it's very good.
Severance is sick. Fucking God, I'm losing. Oh, I started Russian Doll season 2. So I've been catching up with like a lot of shit. But I watched recently because this shit, like one of my guilty pleasures, bread and butter, is like documentaries or YouTube like video essays on like failed conventions and stuff. Like
okay.
give me your Dash Cons, give me your TanaCons,
yeah.
give me your Firefest. And Netflix just recently released a documentary on Woodstock 99.
Oh,
hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I watched that, and then I went to Letterboxd to rate it, and I saw like one of the reviews was like, "Oh, this is much better." You know, there were a few that mentioned it. It was like, HBO did one a couple years ago that was a lot better, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I
"Fuck
remember-
yeah!" And I immediately jumped. I watched them like back to back in the same night.
Awesome.
Yeah, that shit's fucking nuts. Like,
I know some like awful shit happened at it. Like,
Yeah.
there were like people like getting raped in the mud pit.
Yeah,
and
I will
shit
say
like
there's
that.
shit like that like makes it not as fun as DashCon.
Wasn't it on like
Stuff,
an
but-
abandoned like Air Force
Air
base?
Force Base, yeah.
What the hell?
It was on an
Yeah.
abandoned Air
They
Force
didn't even
base,
do it where Woodstock was.
and it was like
It was in upstate New York, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
not in the
it
same.
didn't have like proper facilities like at all.
No.
for people,
yeah. Oh
and
my
people were
God.
like passing out from dehydration.
yeah. There was a couple like I think like heat stroke deaths or something like that.
God.
There was like a few deaths. So there's stuff like that makes it like not fun.
Yeah.
but it's
Limp
still just like
Bizkit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Limp Bizkit famously. Is that the? I think it might have been a previous Woodstock, but I know that there was one where Primus played at.
I don't think because I looked at like who was on the set list
Yeah.
because it was like every big band
Yeah.
at the time, but I don't think that they were there.
I
for
think
that one.
Primus played Woodstock like 94 or
yeah.
95.
Yeah,
And
they-
like they played the song My Name is Mud. And people started throwing mud at the stage.
Nice.
And there's like video of Les Claypool like getting pissed. but his voice is so funny that even when he's pissed, he's like, "Come on, guys, can't be throwing that mud at us." Like it's like you sound like you're singing the song.
Sounds like it's part of the song.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Les Claypool and I share a birthday.
Oh shit! Hell yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely check them out. Like if you're, it's fucking wild. Like I didn't know anything about it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking wild. All the shit that like went bad. Like how every decision they made was like the worst. Like I guess there was this whole thing with like the closing night. There was like this big rumor. I'm trying to think. I think Red Hot Chili Peppers were like the closing act. But there was like, I guess there had been a rumor circulating around that there was like going to be a surprise secret act after that. And people were like thinking like it was going to be like somewhere like Guns N' Roses or like Prince or something like huge.
Yeah, right.
And it turns out that the only like special thing was that like they handed out and like the people in the documentary are like, they're like, why? Like, there's so many times like, why would they do this? Why would they do this at this point? Because this is the final night. Again, they hand out candles to everybody to hold up candles.
My God.
During Under the Bridge as like a protest thing, because this was shortly after Columbine. So it was like, they wanted to like do it as like a protest, like an anti-gun protest thing. But when you hand candles to a crowd of like 300,000 people who are pissed off and stressed out and angry and all that shit, they're like literal like they said that like bonfires started like sprouting up like amongst like they could just see from the stage like bonfires, and then like it turned, it's like I can't believe I'd never heard of this before because of how fucking south it goes. Like there's a part where like this entire line of like tanker trucks explode like shit. One after another. It's really fucking crazy.
Oh
That's
my
awesome.
God. Yeah, I need to watch this pronto because I remember watching like the 2 Firefest documentaries and really enjoying them.
Yeah,
because seeing like because like I remember when that shit was being posted on Instagram. I remember the lead up to it.
They're like box lunch that was like a piece of lettuce on like
Yeah,
half a hamburger.
yeah.
Yeah,
No.
That's the Dashcon ball pit.
Chapo has an episode on
Fire
no
Dashcon.
Woodstock 99.
Oh,
It's
did they?
from a couple months or like maybe like a year ago
okay.
now.
I think I don't know if I remember seeing that in the feed.
But yeah. If you like Firefest, I'd like especially definitely check it out.
Hell
It's-
yes.
And the guys that run it fucking suck.
Yeah.
One of them is the guy that did the original Woodstock in the 60s too.
Oh,
Like, so it's run by the same
Well,
dude, but
and I
he
think-
fucking sucks ass.
I think
that-
even that one there were like sanitation issues and there was like garbage everywhere.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, they
it had a
touch on
lot of
that,
the same
yeah.
issues, but it just wasn't nearly as like violent.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like on
Yeah.
a giant concrete mat that didn't have.
Yeah, because
It wasn't meant for supporting that many people.
Yeah, because like in the 60s, I think what kind of killed the whole hippie summer of love shit, it wasn't Woodstock. It was like, I think it was like,
State.
is that Altamont? Where like the Rolling Stones played and they hired the Hells Angels to like,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
like
yeah.
killed a guy. I think that was kind of the whole like, okay, this era is done because it broke out into violence.
Yeah, the vibe that I got is that Woodstock 69 also had its issues, but it hit the mark more or whatever, like despite having issues. But yeah.
Like a festival that doesn't have proper sanitation but has Jimi Hendrix and Santana is probably better than a shitty like a festival that is just like Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. I have 2 episodes left in 5. So I'm getting there.
Okay.
They're in the desert after he goes to pick up the
Is that
money
Bad
for,
Choice Road?
I think
think
so. Or
that's
it's either that's the one that I was on or that's the next one, because this one ends and they're still out there. So the next one, I'm assuming he gets
Because
back
I think
home.
the finale is called like Something Unforgivable or something like that. I swear to God, it's like Vince Gilligan, Peter Gould shows are like the only shows where I remember them by their
titles.
episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I guess Sopranos too, to an extent. Sopranos was another show. I've probably talked about this on the pod before, but like Sopranos is another show that's like really good with effective episode titles that seems inconsequential, and then you figure out the context of why the episode is called that.
Yeah, I like
and you're
that
like,
stuff.
oh shit! Like it just adds another layer. And I feel
Yeah.
like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are very good about like their episode titles.
Yeah,
Adding, you know.
And I found out last night that we have, or a couple nights ago, that we have AMC Plus. So I don't have to wait to watch the last season.
AMC Plus
Sucks.
shit the bed. This series finale of Better Call Saul, we made not, because like when we started watching Better Call Saul, we initially started it during quarantine, and Chloe would just come down to Kalamazoo, and we'd make a huge tray of nachos. Mm-hmm. Not because of Nacho the character,
I didn't think
but
of
we
that.
would just we put tortilla chips and like cheese and veg and like bake it in the oven, and we'd have our nachos and we'd watch a couple episodes of Better Call Saul. It like became a sort of a tradition. And so I bought cinnamon rolls because Gene works at the Cinnabon.
Oh, yeah.
We
sure.
made our plate of nachos. We made popcorn. We're like ready to watch the finale. And AMC, I think, underestimated how many people were going to watch the finale. The AMC Plus app just like wouldn't load for 40 minutes.
Oh.
Like, because we used her sister's account, so we were entering username and password, getting the same like user error, like same error code, and like she has to work the next morning, so it's like it's like at 9 o'clock on a Monday night. But I mean, I was on Twitter, and like so many people were just like, "How does this happen?" Like, this is the finale of a show that's essentially been part of the same universe for 14 years. How did you not think that like your servers were going to be a little stressed?
Yeah.
There's someone tweeted like me waiting for like AMC Plus to load, and they did the thing with Saul when he's like looking at his phone and he does like the magic fingers at it. It was pretty good, but it was
good.
Man, we were so frustrated with it though.
That's funny.
AMC absolutely fumbling the bag on.
I was like texting you guys. I was pissed. I was so mad.
That's like without a question their biggest like flagship series
Yeah.
and the finale. It'd be one thing if it were the pilot, but on the finale,
Yeah.
they shit the bed.
Yeah, it was awful. Well, they also like delete, like if you watch AMC Plus right now, you would only be able to watch like the last like 4 or 5 episodes.
Really?
The episodes expire, so you can't watch the beginning of season 6 on AMC Plus. You're gonna have to like purchase them individually on like Amazon or something like that.
No. I'll watch it in 13 parts on fucking Vimeo or something.
Yeah. Well, shit. Yeah.
Or Daily Motion.
I thought with AMC Plus I'd be able to watch it, but
Nope.
Looks like I'm finding other means because fuck that.
You got to be a real Jimmy McGill.
Yeah.
You got to find other ways to pull it off.
Have you seen that one lawyer on TikTok?
Is there? Well, I've seen TikToks of lawyers in like, I think Albuquerque, like specifically, but lawyers have definitely taken on like the Saul aesthetic and like.
No, there's a dude that is like, he's got this like fucking hairpiece,
Oh Jesus!
and then he's got like the pink a pink suit, big like diamond like Super Bowl rings on every finger.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like, if the police bring you a glass of, he's like very, very gestury with his hands.
Yeah.
If the police bring you a glass of water, don't accept it. And
Yeah.
it's just very like, he's like evil Saul, but he's like not evil. I don't know.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, I feel like Better Call Saul has done for lawyers what Breaking Bad has done for meth dealers. Just like sort of glamorize the whole idea of, because like people are pissed because they just put up like a Walt and Jesse statue in Albuquerque, and I guess people are like they're mad about that because it's like, well, these guys were
Walt
meth dealers.
is the bad guy.
Yeah. Real quick, because I want to talk about Better Call Saul more, but I went to go see a movie in the theaters.
Wow.
I went to go see an A24 movie in the theaters. I just got to get these in while Travis is gone. I went to go see Bodies.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
And I thought it was great.
Yeah, I saw your review because I've been wanting to see that movie for a while.
Because I didn't watch the trailer for it. Apparently, the trailer, people are saying the trailer like made this movie look like it was gonna suck ass.
That's funny because I think you maybe mentioned that in your Letterboxd review, and I was almost going to go into that when I was talking about the Banshees of Inisherin, because that's a movie where like I didn't need to see the trailer for that. I'm just like Martin McDonagh.
You're already a fan.
Those guys. I'm like I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
It's but Bodies. This is why I watch trailers still, because if I didn't see the trailer for that movie, you could not convince me to go see it. I saw the reading. I remember seeing the premise and like some like stills or something for it before the trailer was released, and I was like, this sounds so fucking dumb. How is this an A24 movie? It looks stupid. It looks like kitschy and popular. And I saw the trailer and I was in. Like, I don't know why people are saying that the trailer's bad.
Really?
I thought the trailer was great. It completely sold me on the movie.
Yeah. It's a tight 90. It's super tight. Mm-hmm. Lee Pace is
and
great.
It's got Lee Pace. I love Lee Pace.
His character is fantastic.
He's one of my boyfriends. I love Lee Pace.
People hate Pete Davidson.
Yeah, I do.
But
maybe he gets his face blown off.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, Kanye directed.
No spoilers, but with the Suicide Squad, I think Pete Davidson found his calling.
Okay. Cool.
There is also a cameo at the end of the movie. You would never guess in a million years who shows up in this movie. Apparently, no one else. I've not seen anyone else online. Yeah. No one else online has talked about it. Like, the people in our row, with like me, Chloe, and our friends, we all freaked out when we saw this person walk on, because like we were like, "Holy shit! What is this? What is he doing here?"
He's listed like pretty far up on Letterboxd, so I already know.
So you already know.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about was there's some discourse about this movie that made me so mad. So did you see this, Connor?
Mm-mm.
So apparently there's this like woman who works for the New York Times.
Oh, the problematic authors thing? Or
No. So she wrote a review of Bodies. She's like a self-identified like lesbian. And
self-diagnosed.
She's a self-diagnosed lesbian. I like that better, actually. But in her review, because it's got like all the women in it. It's a very Gen Z movie. They're wearing like no bras and tank tops. It's very like
it's the spiritual sequel to Wendy's that the Gen Con audiences were clamoring for.
And so she wrote something about like this movie just basically being like just this movie is just about staring at cleavage or something like that. And one of the actresses, her name is Amandla.
Amanda Stenberg.
She replied on Instagram and just told her like, well, my eyes are up here, so if you weren't looking at my tits or something like that. And then this New York Times author or like columnist makes like a front-facing camera TikTok about people abusing their power dynamics for like and then she like humble brags about like when I was 24 years old, I was on the front page of the New York Times, and like it's just she's like, I've never made anything in my life, but I'm a critic, and that's basically art. And like trying to like use like power dynamics when it's like her dad works for the New York Times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like her dad co-founded 538 with Nate Silver.
Oh, wow.
And then like she's trying to act like her status as a New York Times columnist is like
threatened.
Like she's some kind of scrappy underdog.
I'm just a small town reporter.
No, I think what she said that Amandla's comments were like homophobic or something like that.
Awesome.
It's just like people missing the point of that movie so bad.
Yeah,
because it is satirical. It's definitely like sort of like satirical of like Gen Z shit.
The bar for satire nowadays is like very you have to beat them over the head and be explicit about.
And it's not like satire that's like, oh, this was written by like a 45-year-old white dude.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like there's like a part where they're trying to find out who the killer is. And then like one of the actresses is like, yeah, well, I have body dysmorphia. And they're like, that's ableist. Like they kind of go back and forth, but it's like they use that language from Twitter to be like, it can't be me. Like, I have ADHD, like that kind of shit. I don't know. It's very funny.
But at no point do they look directly into the camera
Yeah,
lens
exactly.
and say, "This is bad. Don't do this."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my review. Go see that movie and also harass journalists.
Yeah, especially the New York Times people. Yeah,
nepotism babies.
Hang
10.
We want to. Oh, well, I was gonna wait for this to talk about this when Travis was back on the show, but seeing as
That's never gonna happen.
that's never gonna happen again, we've been watching Scrubs again.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
I haven't seen I've seen like a lot of it like randomly on TV, but we're starting from the beginning, and we watched like the pilot episode, and I could not believe how tight of a pilot like Scrubs is.
like a drum.
Just like how perfect the intro episode is, where like you meet all the characters, you know exactly what they want, like their desires, their like sort of insecurities. It's just it was so good. It's just insane. I feel like shows aren't like made like that anymore.
Right.
Yeah. I can't think of pilot in particular, but that's there's a lot of episodes like that. That show is really good at like really affecting stories with like the 20-minute times. Like
they
multiple
get so much
episodes.
in there.
I know we're past Better Call Saul now, but I was just kind of thinking that with Better Call Saul.
No, we can get back.
No,
into
yeah,
that
we can
now.
go back into it.
Okay. Just how it draws you in, and like I've heard people say that because like you know where it ends, like regarding Breaking Bad and stuff, that it doesn't build tension or anything.
I don't.
But I think that is
horseshit.
I think that is such bullshit.
It is.
That's the same thing as people missing subtext and stuff like bodies. Like,
Yeah.
I think,
missing butt sex.
I mean, like even in the Star Wars prequels, which aren't as like
Yeah, well,
profound
no,
or deep
exactly.
as Better Call Saul, there's still shit to be gained out of
But
those.
Yeah.
Especially the tension thing. It's like every single scene. It's like when they switch over, because it's like at least where I'm at right now, it's switching between like Mike and Saul, and then some stuff with like Charles and Kim.
Sure.
Every scene, it's like when it ends, I'm like, no, wait, keep going with
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
and then it builds up in the next one, and then it switches back, and it's just it's so good. It's such a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to catch up. I'm bad at watching TV. Like I said, I've tried to watch this one. Like,
Yeah.
I watched season 1. I watched the first half of season 1 probably 5 times before I actually watched it all the way through. Just because I'll drop off and then
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I watched this whole season within like a couple days.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I found a YouTube channel that's like these. I think they're like either Russian or you're Ukrainian, or I don't know. I'm not. You're Erythrian. But they're like a reacts YouTube channel.
Okay.
But there's been so much like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul shit that's been like thrust upon my timeline lately, because it's very relevant right now. We'll see if the mic pick that up.
These metal chairs. I didn't think it was gonna sound like that.
Like an elephant crashing through the underbrush.
Yeah. But it's like, it's a very relevant show right now.
Right.
And like I found their channel, and I think Breaking Bad is like my favorite show to watch other people react to.
Yeah.
They're watching
good
Better
for
Call
that.
Saul as well. But like I've just been like kind of scrubbing through watching like key episodes of Breaking Bad.
Episodes and moments.
And just like it reminded me of how good at storytelling that they are with like I feel like there's no other show that is so good at like using like a black screen, and then like I feel like executive producer Vince Gilligan is like a character almost. Like like I was watching it was like a episode of Breaking Bad right after Jesse shoots Gale. And it's kind of when Hank starts figuring out that like Pollos Hermanos is, I think it's Box Cutter. And at the end of the episode,
Jesus Christ.
Walt and Jesse are
before that, or no, it's like 2. It's half. Never mind. We're just
Splitting hairs.
But there's, I was just like,
measures.
there's a moment where it's like they're both wearing like these Kenny Rogers shirts.
Oh yeah,
Because like
I know.
they just had to get different shirts to wear because like they just witnessed this shit. But it's like
That's
even something as simple as that, like the song starts playing and it cuts to Gail's apartment and they're like taking police photos, and then the camera just slowly moves over and you see the folder that says lab notes.
Yeah.
Just something as simple as that, and then it
right.
cuts to black. Executive
Yeah.
producer Vince Gilligan.
Yeah.
They're so good at like leaving it on such a good note to lead into the next episode. And, like Better Call Saul is like perfect.
Well, and
with that.
especially, I just, like I said, literally today I just finished season 2, and
How does that one end?
he comes home. So
It's-
Jimmy gets
yeah.
a call from Hamlin,
Yeah.
Howard Hamlin, and he's like, "Why did you do this?" And you don't really know what's happening. And then he shows up at Charles's house, and Charles is like freaking out. He's putting the emergency like foil blankets everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't do this anymore. I made a mistake. I shouldn't be a lawyer anymore. I'm retiring, all this stuff. And Charles is like, this whole time he's playing him like a fiddle, and just to get, because I think and that's the whole point of this.
It's the tape recorder,
Yeah, it's the tape recorder.
Doesn't he like fish it out because it's electronic?
He flips a pillow off of it.
Yeah.
Or flips one of the blankets
Yep.
off of it and then hits the stop with the tongs.
Yeah.
He's like, you just admitted to a felony, right? And he's like, yeah, but I think you should still be a lawyer.
But he's like, no one's gonna believe you, or
It's my word against yours. And then, yeah, it's
And the thing is, I'll say, like, leading into season 3, like, it's so nice that like the show, so many shows will do that with like season ending cliffhangers that'll just kind of be wrapped up in the season premiere.
Yeah, right.
Right. And I mean, this isn't necessarily like a bad thing, but I guess that is kind of what happens in Box Cutter. Like, there's a big like cliffhanger, like end of season 3, and then it's just like, okay, Gus killed that other guy, and now they're on thin ice, but okay, now that cliffhanger's wrapped up. Better Call Saul like doesn't do that. Like
Right.
that is the effects of the season 2 finale. That's like
that gun stays
that's like
loaded.
all of season 3.
Yeah.
is on that.
Oh.
A good chunk of it. It's not like the whole
You
thing, but
you
and
have
it's so good. It's so good that like
in season 3 you have one of like the best monologues coming up, I think, of Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul.
sidebar.
Chicanery.
Yeah. I think I know the
Okay.
one that
Let
you're
me
talking
know.
about.
Or
The
I'll
episode is called Chicanery.
okay, I'll let you know. When,
But there, I mean, it's become a meme now. I've noticed, like, people post like the full script of this character's like monologue. But yeah, that's
I think I'm thinking of the one you're thinking.
Yeah,
maybe
well-
just message me or just
yeah. But no, I'm so excited that you were watching this show.
Yeah, well,
'Cause
and
now that I know like all of it in whole. I mean, we watched the first episode like the night of the series finale, just to like, it's so funny that like this show, it starts out very vibrant and colorful.
Yeah, right.
And like the last couple seasons, just it gets darker and darker. And there's a really cool, again, the effective use of titles as you watch the show. I don't know if you've noticed that you're only on season 2. Each title sequence becomes more and more like desaturated as like the
I
intro
have kind of
credits.
noticed some color stuff.
to the point. I think like the closer he becomes to like Saul proper,
Yeah.
and like the Breaking Bad timeline, every intro sequence per season has just become slowly more desaturated until it's just like black and white and like hardly there.
Right.
It's
Cool.
everything about it is just, it's so perfectly like written and executed.
Yeah, it's awesome show.
And every I don't want to say it, but there was a moment that, because I just checked so the last episode I watched is season 5 episode 8. Bagman is the name of the episode that I watched. There's a couple before that where there's like a thing that happens, and me and Clea we both like looked at each other and we were smiling because it's like a really like, and then I was like, no, I was like, I don't know why I'm smiling. It's not gonna end well. Like,
Is it like with like Jimmy and Kim, or just like, yeah.
yeah.
it does a good job of like, because there are certain characters that aren't in Breaking Bad, and people like speculate, oh, why isn't so and so in Breaking Bad? Like, what happens? And I think people online tend to be like, oh, they must be dead. And it's like, these writers are so much better than just like killing everyone off.
Right.
Yeah.
And fan theories, I think I've outgrown them.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're just the dumbest shit you've ever heard.
It's like, aren't you glad these people aren't writers?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, same with like Breaking Bad, they were going to kill off Jesse Pinkman in like the first season.
Yeah, like very early.
I think in Better Call Saul, like characters like Kim weren't initially going to be like major players.
Oh, cool.
I think the
That's
same
cool.
with like Howard. I don't know. I don't think they had these big sort of arcs planned for them, but I think as the actors and actresses portrayed these characters, their performances were so good.
I'm so bad with actress names.
Rhea
Ray
Seehorn.
Seahorn.
Is awesome.
Oh.
I think she's very good.
Yeah,
Kim,
she was really good.
People. I think people at this point like Kim more than Jimmy at the end of the show.
Yeah, I could.
Well,
see
I'm
that,
sure
I
by
guess.
the end of it, yeah. I mean, Jimmy, he's not like he's not a bad guy in the terms of like compared to Walt, but like he's still not like.
Yeah, like he's still not a good guy.
He's sympathetic.
But yeah, he's sympathetic, but he's still like kind of sleazy and probably
Yeah.
shouldn't be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because I feel like when you're watching the show, you're like, when does he become Saul? Like, when is this going to happen? And then
When does he call Saul?
and then the episode hits when he becomes Saul, and you're like, can I have Jimmy back, please?
Yeah.
Like it's like it's like the
are
old-
you saying is that like in the last season? Like it hasn't? Because I guess I've kind of felt like with me, I've just kind of seen a slow transition.
it's
through
a
the
very
series.
it's a very slow transition,
but there's a moment.
but
where
there's
it's like,
definitely a moment where, they start getting into like Breaking Bad territory.
Okay.
okay.
So, yeah, I'm trying to be as vague as possible about it, but there is definitely a moment, and it's like if you've been waiting for him to turn into Saul, and then everyone is just like, "Give me Jimmy," like his elder law ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I thought it was going to be easier to finish it than I found
now
out.
that you know how
but-
terrible AMC Plus is,
But I still am gonna try to finish it because I want to, because it's very good.
yeah,
I still think it's oh yeah, like you were saying about like, oh, every time a storyline ends I want it to like keep going. That's why to me it's superior to Breaking Bad. It's because in
gotcha.
Breaking Bad it was not that. It was every time Jesse and Walter's story ended, I was like, no, get back to that. But then anytime it went to, Marie shoplifting or Skylar smoking, it's like, okay, let's get back to the other stuff. Okay. I don't give a fuck about this.
Well, and the secondary, the B plot on this one is probably like the best character in the show. So
are you talking about Mike?
Mike, yeah, or my favorite
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
I didn't really like Mike. Was such a whatever character to me in Breaking Bad.
Even in Breaking Bad, I liked him. Like he's
yeah.
like my favorite.
I know a lot of people did like him in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I never connected with him until Better Call Saul. But now I fucking love him. He's so good.
Yeah.
yeah. Same with Gus.
Oh, wait, he's in this?
Well, you kind of see how that relationship is formed between Mike and Gus.
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Again, it's like no heavy spoilers because like we all know.
Yeah,
Breaking
we
Bad.
know where it ends
Yeah.
up.
But it's to the point where like it recontextualizes things so much that you watch Breaking Bad and you see Saul Goodman and you're like, you're Jimmy McGill.
I know. I'm thinking of
I
like
know who you are.
Right.
And this is like he becomes the most tragic character in Breaking Bad.
yeah.
Well, and
that's how I feel.
I don't want it to be like endless spin-offs, but I would love to see where like Mike's actual like backstory. You know,
Yeah.
I would just love to see more of that
As a beat cop.
I like
as
Mike.
as like a beat cop into
I like Mike.
when he was in Vietnam or whatever, like all that
Yeah.
stuff. Just I just like him.
Like the Halo novels. Like get some
Yeah.
of that with Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Ermin Trout cinematic universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah, he's great
that's
in this.
another thing is like I wonder if Vince Gilligan just has it down, like just knows all of his stuff so well that he can write these, or if he has someone that like advises like, okay, these are your beats and this is what you like.
It is interesting because like for this last season, I've been listening to like the Better Call Saul Insider podcast. Like it would come out the day after, and it would be hosted by like people who work on the
Right.
show, and they would have like Peter
The
Gould.
talking Saul.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
But they would have like Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould, and like they would have like writers
Right.
and like directors on the show,
And Elliot Gould.
and Elliot Gould, and you know,
Gainesville again.
you'd be surprised how much they don't actually have planned out, and how much they. I don't know. I was kind of talking about this with like Barry too, but I feel like a lot of
That sorry. That was the other show that I finished.
Oh, you did
I was
finish?
talking about like all the shows that I,
I haven't
catching
seen
up
the
on.
most recent season on that
It's still fine in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It definitely did get more darker than the previous
Yeah.
two seasons. But
I not a fan of the ending though. I know it's not the end of the show, but
Yeah.
not a fan.
of where, oh, okay.
Just the end. I
Yeah.
don't like where it ended up.
Gotcha. Is it the end or no?
No,
Like the
there's
season finale.
If that's the series finale,
It's
then
not.
it, then
It's
it. I didn't think so. There were too many threads that were like left hanging. But if
yeah.
that was a series finale, that'd be like fucking terrible.
No, because like what I was saying about like the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul writers, it's like they write characters into corners all the time, and I feel like they're very good at like letting what is like logical and organic. You watch it and you're like, oh, duh. Like a lot of, because people come up with these fan theories about like, what if Howard is actually doing this during the Breaking Bad timeline, or
Who cares?
What if
Yeah.
Jimmy and Kim are actually doing this during the Breaking Bad timeline, and it's like
What's Eddie up to? That's all I need to know.
a lot of the times what happens
From Deadfall.
they let like realism, like talking about
They let it breathe and play out on its own.
what happens is like what would happen in real life, but the way that they do it, it's like I was talking about with like Gale, like they shoot Gale, and it's like, yeah, it's like a big shock that you see all the Los Pollos Hermanos stuff in his apartment, and that's what eventually puts Hank onto Gus. But it's like this big shocking reveal, but it's like, oh yeah, but that would make sense.
Right.
It would be in his
like
apartment.
it seems like such a small
Yeah.
like detail that contextually makes sense, but then if you actually think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, that's how it would be.
Yeah, they take something that's like very normal and logical in the story and make you feel like, holy shit, what a reveal.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
for sure.
I think Barry is like decent at that. But
Yeah.
But if you're already not a fan or
I think that's not the thing. It's not that I'm not a fan. Like it's a very watchable show. I
Yeah.
watched the third season in like almost like one sitting.
Oh,
it's,
shit,
It's
okay.
a very
I mean it's like 30-minute long episodes, so you can just kind of
It's a very like it's one of those that I can watch and like it's not like boring.
Yeah.
It's at no point have I felt like whenever I hear people raving about it, I've never like really read a review, I'll say. And I'm like, I know it's like it's mixing, like it's comedy, it's supposed to be funny. And there were a few moments in the third season that were like pretty funny. And then, but nothing like that. I'm like, wow, I'm watching this for the comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then like, there's like dramatic moments and those just don't hit with me. So when I hear people like rave about the show, I'm like, okay, is it the comedy or is it the drama? Like, what do people love about this show so much? And like you say that, like, it does really write them into corners. and then like finds these weird ways to like get him out of it. But I kind of think that Barry's like the antithesis of Better Call Saul in that situation, which I think is okay for something like Barry. But I think all the ways that it gets him out of these scenarios are like so ridiculous and so unbelievable, or just out of left field.
It's more earned in like Better Call Saul.
Well, and I feel like Barry,
and that's not a knock against Barry.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that in Barry.
I feel like Barry is like more, I guess, bombastic. It's more like
what do you guys like? Like, what is the thing that keeps you like? Is it more of a comedy, or is it more of like the drama stuff? Like, what is it that like makes it like great to you? I'm genuinely asking. I'm not trying to sound like sardonic or anything.
No, you're good.
I'm being genuine.
I don't know. That's hard to say.
Bill Hader, he's probably a big reason.
Yeah,
I keep watching it,
Bill
'cause
Hader's pretty
I
good.
love Bill Hader,
and
yeah.
Bill Hader is like really, really good in this. It's hard to say. Well, and it's been a while since I've actually watched it. Like, I haven't watched the most recent season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it was like right after the second season came out that I watched,
you watched
that
that
one. So,
I think for me, it's like it's kind of like with Breaking Bad. With you, like you like Walt and Jesse, and I think for me, it's like I like Barry and Fuchs, but also
I fucking hate Fuchs. That's he is like one of the most loathsome characters, and like not in like a good way. I hate him so much.
Stephen Root.
Stephen
okay,
Root's
I
character.
handler.
I couldn't remember if Fuchs was Stephen Root or Henry Winkler. What's Henry Winkler's character's name?
Gene Cousineau.
Cousineau.
Okay, that's right.
He says Cousineau.
Yeah, which
That's right.
it is. I like his character
Gene
because
Parmesan.
he kind of does play up the sort of like Barry Zuckercorn.
Yeah,
Like
right.
the
that's
sort of
kind
like he's a delusional actor, like delusions of grandeur. But I feel like his character gets a little bit more fleshed out, and I think Henry Winkler shows more like dynamic range than he does.
There's solid acting, from most of the people.
He gives a pretty good performance. Like, you wouldn't really
It's a well-constructed
necessarily
show and everything.
Yeah.
expect that from him, but
There's a chase scene in the third season that I actually really
I
liked.
know what
The
you're
highway. That was really cool. I really liked that.
I think a lot of the action is pretty well crafted too, from what I remember from the first couple seasons.
Yeah, there's some realism in it that is like, oh, that would happen if
No, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
like there's a certain he gets a knife somewhere and it
in the third season.
it might be the finale.
I don't.
Just a character gets stabbed through the back of the neck, but like the blade
I got
pokes his eye through the
That
in.
was so fucked up.
I was like, oh,
Jesus Christ.
I was like that, but that would happen in real
Right.
life.
That was
And
that
I was
was
you have
good.
to think
Oh.
where the blade actually goes. Yeah.
That was good.
And I was like, oh, I don't like that. I don't, because he's like, what did you do to my eye? What's happened with my? And it's like, the knife poked through the back of his eye.
That's right.
I got so
Like
squeamish during
hit
that.
his nerve or up to
Yeah,
nerve.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so realistic though. Like that's probably what would happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It is rough.
Yeah, near the end of that season was getting like better, but it was like when I finished watching it, I was like, yeah, there's really good parts. It's just like as a whole, it hasn't like fully like won me over like that.
Yeah.
I love NoHo Hank too. I do
NoHo
think
Hank is
he's
great.
like he's consistently a really funny character.
And
to
that's
watch.
another one that was also supposed to be killed off
Oh really?
like early on. I think he was supposed to be whatever the like boss dude in the first season.
The yellow
Pazar.
Yeah, he was
From
supposed,
True
yeah.
Detective.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I only see him as
He was in Chernobyl too, wasn't he?
No, I don't think so.
No,
That guy?
Hank or the other guy?
No, the other guy.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
He is one of those guys who's in. He's you see him pop up in HBO stuff. Him and
He would be a good
Bill
guy from Crime Wave.
oh yeah,
He would be
for
a good,
sure.
in the remake
Yeah.
of Crime Wave. He'd be a good that guy. I was gonna say something, and it's friend sort of friend
Is a
of.
fucking Bored Ape as their IMDb picture.
Yeah, there is. Who is that? Oh man.
Damn.
Sort of friend of the pod. Someone we've met in real life is in it.
In Barry?
Yeah. Jesse Pinkman's dad.
Oh yeah,
Michael
that's right.
Bolshetter.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that whole storyline's pretty
Watchmen.
bummer.
The guy that
He was in Watchmen, that's what I was
we were
thinking.
talking to
Okay.
at the Frankfurt Film Festival a year ago, and we mentioned that we do a podcast, and he immediately reeled a little bit. I watched
Yeah.
a part of him die.
Yeah.
It's like, please don't invite me on your podcast.
Yeah, okay.
Well, do we want to announce? Do we want to say special guest and then draw the cup, or do you want to just draw the cup and then we'll make a separate announcement for the guest?
Well, I thought we wanted to wait.
That's true because we're waiting for.
And I was gonna if they are on, then give them the opportunity to suggest one.
Yeah.
Don't if they say they don't want to, then I can just pull one for it too. But I would say let's hold
draw
off on
one.
that. Yeah, we'll draw.
Okay. Well, there's your teaser. Special guest,
Maybe.
maybe in the future.
Hopefully.
He has to answer my email,
Um.
but it's pretty solid, I think.
Okay. I gotta do a random number generator.
Nice.
This
is gonna be a fun one to edit.
51. Yeah. Oh man. Oh baby, it's time.
Oh, is it?
It's fucking time, baby.
What do we got?
Let me look up the shit. So I got the.
Yeah.
So I got the details.
Give me all the credits.
From 1977, directed by Nobuhiko Obayashi. We're watching House.
Oh yes.
Fuck. You might have to come over to my house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I've been meaning to watch that.
Oh.
I'm down to do it.
Yeah. I've got.
Oh wait, do you have a way to watch it? Because I have it on Blu-ray. It'd be on HBO, yeah. So I guess if you can get HBO, then yeah.
I
Yeah.
have HBO. So.
Oh, that's awesome. We watched it last fall, I think, or early spring. I don't know. We did watch it, and
We should
it
at
is a
least
trip.
watch it together.
I'm glad. I was worried we'd be waiting a long time to watch that one. Sick.
I think Travis watched it first and
Yeah.
was wanting to talk about it, but then we're like, we might get it in the cup.
Yeah.
Maybe this will get him to come back.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Hell yeah,
All right.
that's awesome though. I'm excited for
House.
that.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right. If you don't want to be spoiled for House, watch it before next week, because we said it's on HBO at least. Probably on Criterion Channel, but that's a lot less popular of a streaming service. These episodes come out every Wednesday, 7 p.m. EST on Twitch and YouTube in video form, and also in audio form on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. We also have social pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. That's it, I think.
Seem to be on LinkedIn.
Tell he's busting it down.
And with all that said,
I didn't. Oh shit. Oh man, I didn't even think about this.
man, yeah, there's a lot of options to go with here. I'll go. I am. What am I, man? A fucking retard. I'm a fucking retard, man.
Me?
TJ, aka J Spot Jack Cheese, and with me as always. No.
As always, I didn't reference this at the very beginning. The guy that they were gonna mark, he was slurring his words also. So I feel like a fucking piece of bacon, man. Nick, aka Dr. Funk on Twitch, and with me as always.
I'm Connor, aka Sam fucking Peckinpah.
That was the other one I was thinking of doing.
Bingo Bronson 420 on Tweeter.com.
Nice.
Thank you, and have a nice night.
What the fuck was up with the Sam Peckinpah shit? The Nicolas Cage is in the bar and he goes, "Well, here's the Sam fucking Peckinpah." And then 5 minutes later, the guy in the alley is like, "Who sent you? Sam fucking Peckinpah." And he's like, "Yeah." It's so face like, why?